Hello everyone and welcome to K-Mine Stadium on the campus of Lafayette. Matt Fine along with you on the Lafayette Sports Network on GoLeopards.com, here along with the head coach, the skipper for the baseball team, Joe Kinney. And by the way, we're going to talk about all your recruiting, but 20th season, you're entering your 20th season. I think that must be a milestone. Before we start talking about all the recruits in your fall season, it just dawned on me, 20 seasons, how's it feel?
To be honest, Matt, first off, thanks for having me. Good morning. I don't tend to think about that too much. I have been here a little
I'm sorry,
while.
I brought maybe bad news. It's all. I think
no,
it's all good,
not
stuff,
bad.
Right?
Great news, great news. I have a daughter who's a senior here, graduating this coming spring, plays on the lacrosse team. Lafayette's been very good to me, my family. I live in the community and been invested in it now for a number of years. And you know, when you're in this business, you kind of take it year to year, other than the recruiting where you kind of look into the future. So you're not really sometimes looking at the big picture as much. You're looking at the now, and then the recruiting piece kind of has an eye onto the future a little bit.
Well, we'll get nostalgic another day, but I wanted to congratulate you on your 20 years.
Thank
So
you.
we're going to talk about your 2019 class, and I'd say 2019 is your high school recruiting class. But before we get into the future of Lafayette, let's talk a little bit about the fall that's been, and then look into the immediate future, which would be your 2019 season. How did your fall go? What did you see from your freshman class, I guess, being on the field for the first time? What would have been your 2018 high school recruiting class? You know, what surprised you, or what did you see? What did you enjoy, and what kind of things do you think about moving forward into the spring?
Well, first off, you just enjoy being around a new group. You have your returning players, you have a group of incoming freshmen that join you every year, and while it's baseball, it's still a new opportunity every year, and that's how you try to look at it, at least I do as a coach, and try to really get that message across to my players on a regular basis. Our fall just wrapped up on Sunday. We typically have a Maroon and White World Series where it's a 3-game series, and we have the players pick teams and set lineups, rotations, and give signs, so they have a little bit of fun with it. We had a little bit of weather last weekend that curtailed it to a 1-game series, but it was a great game. It was a 3-2 game, 9 innings. Guys played hard. Our pitchers threw well. We had every pitcher throw 1 or 2 innings, so it was like a staff kind of day type situation. So it really ended our fall on a really positive note. You know, our freshmen, it's a learning opportunity for them.
Big jump for them, right?
Big jump, just in terms of being away from home, obviously adjusting to the academics, the training aspects such as lifting in the morning, and then the amount of time that we spend is much different than what they're used to, even though they're playing throughout the summer and so on. So I think they've adjusted well. There's still learning to be done, certainly, and that'll occur really throughout their 4 years while they're here. We have some freshmen that really acquitted themselves well on the field, and I think they're going to be in a mix for some lineup decisions and rotation decisions. And other guys, it may be a little bit too early to tell, and that's not out of the realm of normalcy, for young people. The great thing about young players across the board is that you never know what's going to happen, and that's a good thing. And that what happens today could be vastly different tomorrow, and the opportunity to change, improve, get better is something that we're trying to preach. Get better every day, get 1% better every day. If you're doing that, you're living a pretty good life, and I think our guys have done that this fall.
All right, Joe, let's talk about your recruiting class. I have 11 guys on this list, and let's talk about it as a whole first, because what surprises me, or not surprises me, but what stands out to me are some of the places these kids are from. I got Virginia here, Ohio. We do have obviously a New Jersey, but Texas, Connecticut, Tennessee. We're really talking about kids far and wide that you hope will be not only great students, obviously, at Lafayette, but also good ball players.
Well, that's a testament, I think, to our recruiting, and specifically to my assistants who are doing the lion's share of our recruiting, who are out at a number of events throughout the summer. And Lafayette's obviously in Pennsylvania, and our core area is going to be the Northeast, where our alumni base is strongest, where the reputation of the school is strongest. But I think our leadership at the school has really tried to grow Lafayette's name throughout the country, particularly West Coast and in the South, if you would. And we're reaping a little bit of the benefits of that, I think. And to capitalize on that, we'll have our assistants attend events either in those regions or areas where guys will go to, so camps, showcases, things of that nature, where we get an opportunity to see kids from Tennessee or kids from California, not our typical recruiting areas. And that's paid off in so many young men who we've been able to recruit to come to Lafayette.
All right, let's start talking about some of these guys that we're going to see come next fall and in this spring of actually 2020, which sounds so far away, but they're on the doorstep right now. And we'll start with a pitcher, right-handed pitcher from Ashburn, Virginia, Alexander Walsh, 6'3", 180 pounds, 5-2 last year with a 2.00 ERA as a junior. He's a mid to high 80s fastball kind of guy. What do you see in him?
Well, he goes to the Flint Hills School in Virginia, a private school, plays for the Stars program, a pretty well-respected summer program in Northern Virginia. Right-handed pitcher who has a lot of experience in high school. We've seen him for a number of years now, and I have a family connection. I played in college with his father, which is kind of neat. So that's probably got us connected early on in the recruiting process. And we graduate a lot of pitching, so pitching's a theme in our recruiting class. It usually is every year. We have 5 guys who graduate in 2019. So Alex certainly is going to help fill that void with our guys that we're losing to graduation and compete for obviously opportunities right away.
Okay, we'll move on. And you have a couple of guys that are going to be like this. Dylan Ciccone, a two-way player, an infielder, he plays some shortstop, plays some third base, but also is a pitcher out of Virginia, 5'11", 175 pounds. And he was on a very good high school team. They won the Virginia State title. So this kid knows how to win.
Yeah, Chantilly High School in Northern Virginia, played for U.S. Elite in the summer, another well-respected summer program. Dylan's a young man we saw at multiple events, including a camp here at Lafayette, and we like what he can do as an infielder and also like what he has done on the mound and has shown us on the mound, and we're certainly going to give him the opportunity to demonstrate both. We offer that typically to maybe one guy a year, if you would. Some guys can do it. Some guys typically gravitate towards one position or another. It's obviously very difficult. One, adjusting to college baseball, but now playing a position and pitching is very demanding. He has been doing it well, and we're excited to give him that opportunity here.
We were talking earlier about where all your assistants go, and you as well, by the way, to some of these showcases and some of these big tournaments where you will find kids far and wide. I think it's worth saying that you saw Dylan. This talks about where you guys will go. You saw Dylan in Georgia, I believe. You saw him in North Carolina, and then he was here. So these are kids you've seen multiple times, and sometimes very far away in order to grab them and bring them to your campus. Yeah, we go to the events that are further from campus to try to see folks that maybe we can't normally see in our region, if you would. But sometimes there's dumb luck, and a couple of these guys has clearly been dumb luck. I ran into somebody that I knew. He said, "Hey, this guy's doing this today. Good academics." We followed up, and now the young man's coming. So that's a part, just being in the right place at the right time, maintaining connections, people you've seen over the years, run into in summer camps and other recruiting opportunities, competing against other coaches, etc. So you're always, recruiting is a all-encompassing process. That's always going, if you would, and you try to take advantage of every little opportunity and every big opportunity that you have. This isn't a question, just something I noticed. I get the sheets that the kids put together with interesting things about them, and since I'm a history buff, I do want to mention that Dylan has, on his father's side, his ancestors, one served in the Revolutionary War and one served in the Civil War, and I just think, again, not a question, just really interesting stuff coming from some of these kids that are coming to campus. Move on to number 3, Jack Amendola, outfielder from Ohio, 5'10", 175 pounds. And this is probably one of your faster guys, batted .488 his junior season, but this guy can steal a heck of a lot of bases, triple digits in stolen bases throughout his high school career. Where do you see him? How's he fit? Yeah, Jack's from Chagrin Falls, a suburb of Cleveland, plays for Ohio Elite in the summer. Jack, if he has a senior year on par with his first 3 years, he'll set the Ohio State record for stolen bases. So certainly that was a big attraction. See Jack as a center fielder, of course, and I would hope at some point a top of the lineup leadoff type player who can get on base, and then obviously once he's on base really create a lot of concern for the other team. So we're looking forward to getting him here and sort of unleashing him on the base paths. And I think he's the definition of an athlete. Not only is he obviously a baseball player and will be playing for you, but 4 letters in soccer. Yep. He plays basketball, 10 varsity letters in his high school career, which I think goes to show you what kind of an athlete you have coming onto the field. Yeah, you don't see many folks that do that now. Even two-sport, right? Two-sport is very rare these days, which sort of sad. I played 2 when I was in high school. If I had a say in the matter for
young people across the board, I would say, play more than one sport just for the diversity, different training methods, different levels of intensity, etc. Jack's soccer team, I believe, is in the playoffs right now and gunning for a state title, and I believe his baseball team will compete for one as well this spring.
Okay. Jacob Ciccone, a left-handed pitcher from New Jersey, 5'11", 200 pounds is our next guy. As a junior, 50 innings, 57 strikeouts in 50 innings, which is a feat unto itself, and an ERA south of 1.0, and fastball in the upper 80s. So another, again, this is, I think, the first left-handed pitcher we talked about so far today.
Yep. Jacob's a left-handed pitcher from South Brunswick High School in New Jersey, and then plays for, again, another respected summer program in the Northeast and really nationwide, Tri-State Arsenal, and had a great junior year. Upper 80s left-handed pitcher who is going to compete for innings right away when he gets on campus. And we're really excited about what he can do and what he's going to bring to the table when he gets here.
Okay, we'll stick with, actually now we're going to move to one of our first of the Texas guys. Kyle Shimlewski, a middle infielder from McKinney, Texas, 6 feet, 160 pounds. He's a guy that can play all the infield positions, which I think is not uncommon when you're talking about such a great athlete. You know, shortstop, second base, he'll play third base, and he's been a star. I think when you talk about his high school career, 71 straight high school games, so obviously he has the durability as well to play this game.
Yeah, Kyle is from McKinney, as you mentioned, a suburb of Dallas, goes to Pope John II High School, and also plays football, so he's in his football season right now. He's a starting shortstop for his high school team, plays for the Dallas Tigers in the summer, and you know, you're looking for your position guys at a lot of the positions, particularly middle infielders, that have athleticism and flexibility to play in multiple positions. You bring in shortstops, one's going to play short, one's going to play second, one may play third. You could also move those guys to the outfield. So the more flexibility someone brings to us, the better opportunities he's going to have to get on the field, and quite honestly, the better it's going to help our team. And we're certainly looking forward to Kyle demonstrating that.
And you've done that. Last season, you were moving your first baseman out to right field. You moved your right fielder to center field. You would switch up middle infielders every once in a while. It's something that I think other coaches do as well, but definitely something that we do at Lafayette.
Well, you need to look no further than the World Series. The Dodgers, who lost the series, but they had a first baseman playing second. They had a shortstop playing center. They had a first baseman playing center. I mean, they have interchangeable parts, really, like you have not seen. That I can remember, you know, on a professional level team where typically guys may tend to trend towards one position, if you would. So that's really impressive, that the athleticism that you see at the big league level and how they really manage that across the diamond.
Okay. Nolan Moore, a left-handed pitcher from Connecticut, Colebrook, Connecticut, 6 feet, 195. 4-0 his junior year with a 1.91 ERA. So another left-handed pitcher. You mentioned, obviously, pitching is, I think pitching is always real important to just any baseball team, but in particular this year, you've got a bunch of arms, and this is our second lefty we've been talking about.
Yep, and Nolan goes to Avon Old Farms, which is a very prestigious school in Connecticut that has also put out a tremendous number of baseball players. George Springer for the Houston Astros is an Avon Old Farms grad. I've had 2 players in my time from Avon, so that's been a good, nice connection. Played for Baseball U in the summer, another solid summer program, so has a lot of experience in multiple roles as a pitcher, and again, he's going to have an opportunity to come in here with our graduation and compete for innings right away.
I think it's worth talking about when we talk about Nolan. You know, one of the things that he had put down on his resume here was a March 2018 trip to Key West as part of Habitat for Humanities, where he was rebuilding some homes for Hurricane Irma. I think it's important to ask you about this kind of stuff where you have, it's Lafayette, so you got to be a smart kid. You have to be academically interested in coming here, but also obviously you want good ball players, but in addition to that, you want good kids, good students, good young men that are going to become older men that you're going to have a relationship with moving on after they graduate. And I get the impression that Nolan's probably an example of something like that.
100%. I mean, character is certainly a component in the recruiting process. You obviously have your talent or ability on the field, your academic ability. You have to try to work to make Lafayette affordable for families. That's certainly a big part of the recruiting process. But gauging character, as I would hope they're gauging our character as well. It's a two-way street, is very important. And character is everything from a handshake to communicating to maybe their investment in their communities, if you would. It's all-encompassing and something that you're really just trying to gauge as you kind of get to know and develop that relationship a little bit with somebody.
Okay. We have, I know a lot of coaches like to recruit up the middle, and so here's a guy that's kind of up the middle for you, Patrick Vandenberg, middle infield, utility guy, middle infielder, but also has experience catching, has experience, well, I guess in the corner outfields from Tennessee, 6 feet, 180 pounds. What can you tell me about him?
Patrick goes to the Ensworth School. It's a private school in Nashville, Tennessee. He's my first young man that I've had come from Tennessee, and plays for the Knights program, a summer program in Tennessee. And what kind of attracted us to him, he's a left-handed hitter, and his versatility on the field. He catches quite a bit throughout the year, but also has played infield quite a bit and has played a little bit of outfield. And again, as we talked about, that position versatility, particularly if there's catching experience.
He's got a pop time south of 2.
Really is tremendous, because when you put together your roster, we have 35 guys. Roughly, you're going to have 19 to 20 position players, and then 15 to 16 pitchers. And the more position players that play more than one position, that may allow you to just take a first baseman that really can hit, or just a catcher who can only catch, or something like that. So he certainly brings that versatility to us.
All right, great. Peter Trufreda, an outfielder.
Trufreda,
two-way possibility. You mentioned this will be the second two-way person in addition to Dylan from New Jersey, 6'1", 212 pounds, a guy with some home run power. So another possible two-wayer for you?
Pete's from right down the road in Hunterdon County, New Jersey. Went to Hunterdon Central, a perennial Group 5 state power. He was the 3-hitter on a Group 5 state champion in New Jersey last year that really had a tremendous run in the postseason. He's closing for them, so he's a regular outfielder, center fielder, and then will come in and close in his upper 80s, low 90s. Left-handed hitter, and he's certainly going to have the opportunity, as Dylan, as we talked about Dylan Ciccone, to do both right away. And as the guys get experience with us, particularly in the fall, we're able to gauge, is he a pitcher who hits, or is he a lineup player who will pitch? And typically that might be in a relief capacity. So that remains to be seen, but he's very talented at both, and we're looking really forward to having Pete join us. He plays for also another good summer program in the region, Diamond Nation Super 17. So we've been able to see him quite a bit.
USC Lead, Tri-State Arsenal, a lot of big name, not as much high school programs obviously, but summer travel programs, and into the fall they do a majority of their work, actually, it seems sometimes with these new kids, they're working outside of their high schools. They're working with these major travel teams.
The high school seasons obviously in the Northeast are somewhat short.
Yeah.
There's some restrictions state by state in terms of how coaches can work with players in off seasons. And there's the summer travel season, and then in some cases maybe the fall, even depending on what your fall activities look like at school, and so on. So they are an important part of baseball development, no question.
Sounds good. Jake Bloss, a pitcher, another right-hander for you out of Greensboro, North Carolina, 6'2", a big guy, 6'2", 200 pounds, 4-year varsity player with a 2.61 ERA as a junior. What do you see out of him?
So Jake's a young man. A couple interesting tidbits on Jake. One, he attends a magnet school in North Carolina. It's called the Early College at Guilford, which is a public school. You have to apply. There's various entrance requirements, but it's run through Guilford College, which is a private 4-year institution in Greensboro. And he's effectively a Guilford student taking Guilford classes, but they're his high school years, if you would. He plays baseball for his sending district, or sending school, which is Grimsley High School. So he's got to travel back, and he's got different groups of friends through school, and so on and so forth. So his academic profile is very, very strong, and that's certainly something that attracted us. But talking about opportunities before, so I'm at a game this summer at the Lake Point facility for Perfect Game in Georgia, and I'm at the field early. There's a game at 10. I think I'm there like at 8:30, watching the first game, even though there was nobody that I knew of in that first game that was of any interest. I run into a coach that I had known for a while, going a while back. I hadn't seen him probably for 5 years. He comes up before the game, says hello. We're just, talking a little bit and asking how everybody's doing. He mentions he has this young man who's academic, who's pitching for him on Thursday. I send my assistant to see him, and next thing you know, he's committed to Lafayette. So right place, right time, and a little bit of dumb luck.
paid off in our ability to get Jake.
That needle in the haystack is always a really good thing. That's why you go down to Lake Point, where there are hundreds of teams
Correct.
from all over the country playing
Correct.
in one tournament. Sounds good. Our last gentleman for today, at least, is Jordan Yoder, a right-handed pitcher, from your second guy from Texas, 7-2 last year, 3-year varsity player.
Jordan's from Fairview, Texas, another suburb of Dallas. Plays for Frozen Ropes, a summer team out of Dallas. And in addition to pitching, he's also, I think, a talented infielder. Right now, our thoughts are predominantly on the mound. I think a sinker slider kind of guy that certainly is going to create havoc for right-handed hitters, and I think beyond. But that's some initial pieces that attracted us. I've had some young men from Texas before. I've never had two in 1 year, and we were able to see Jordan and Kyle Shimolewski, the other young man, at a couple of national events that my assistants were at. So that was tremendous. That they were interested in certainly Division I athletics, but also that small academic setting that Lafayette offers.
Now, these are the 11. We might add another one down the line. I don't know how it's all going to shape up. Sometimes you have someone that comes in late. But regardless of that, for these 11, they're still high school seniors. And the high school senior, that's a big year for any young man. What do you want from them? What do you talk to them about in terms of their training and their academics prior to when you really get them possibly over the summer into early fall?
Well, first off, just be a high school senior. Don't be a college student before you're a college student. Enjoy your senior year. You still need to perform academically. Our admissions office,
they're always looking.
Is going to remind you, if you don't do that, go out and help your team be successful in the spring. And if that means you play this position or play that position because that's what's best for the team and that's what the coach wants, then so be it, even though maybe we're thinking about you at a different place. That versatility, again, is fine.
And reps are reps.
And
right?
Listen, I'm a coach. I wouldn't maybe want people telling me what to do, and I'm not going to tell a high school coach what to do with his players. So be a young man. Enjoy the fun aspects of your senior year, prom, graduation, whatever you're doing in the summer. You'll like guys to play in the summer, but they don't need to maybe be as nuts as they have been as their junior and sophomore years, where they're traveling all over the country. Guys may play in men's leagues or maybe American Legion. Depends on where they're from and what opportunities. We'll send them our conditioning programs that our strength coach puts together, so they're getting some exposure to what we do. They may be able to implement that, maybe not. Get the reps, at bats, some innings, manage your arm care if you're a pitcher, and be a student, be 18, be what everyone else is, because now it's going to change a little bit when you get to college.
All right, well, congratulations on a really nice looking 2019 class. You're finished the fall, you'll get your workouts in for your students, your players, and then we'll see you in the spring for the 2019 season.
Looking forward to it, Matt. Thank you.
Right. Joe Kinney, along with Matt Fine here at K-Mine Stadium. That'll do it for us here. Enjoy your fall, everybody, on the Lafayette Sports Network on GoLeopards.com. Take care, everyone.